lined up the top stars from Hollywood and from all over the world to entertain you on a giant screen with the few colorful motion pictures you've been hearing about and reading
It's
about.
showtime, folks. Enjoy the show.
We're delighted to have you with us. They're driving theater.
You'll find something to please you to add to your evening's enjoyment.
Is pleased to bring you our feature presentation.
Oh, what's up, everybody? You are tuned into the drive-in speaker box. It is Sunday night. It is August 13th, 2023. I'm your host, Bo, the boom operator.
Slick Doggy the Grip.
And we're here a day early because we're going to go see, or I'm going to go see, maybe Jake will go see, Berlin. You know, they're going to take my breath away.
Yeah, dude,
And,
Top Gun soundtrack. Let's do it.
Yeah, dude, I'm excited. And also, Boy George is going to be playing, so that'll be, you know, we'll all be karma chameleons for a little bit.
Is it advertised as Boy George or is it Culture Club? Does Culture Club?
It's
I don't know
Boy
anything
George
about
and Culture Club.
Okay.
Yeah, so
'Cause I
there
don't
will
know.
be. We're just, you know.
That's not really my thing.
I'm gonna
I
wear
don't
like
know
a
anything about
come
it.
and go shirt, like from the gas station, and that'll just be my like Culture Club shirt. You know, you come and go, and I'll be like, yeah, it's relevant.
I have a Top Gun shirt somewhere I can dig out.
Heck yeah. Well, anyway, we're here tonight. We're going to be telling you all about stuff that's happening in the world of movies. I'm going to be reviewing the Last Voyage of the Demeter tonight on the show. I went and saw it this weekend. And tonight, he's going to go see Jailer.
I have yet to watch my movie. And you know, there was the Gran Turismo preview show.
That was tonight as well, yeah.
That was today, and I was like, oh, Gran Turismo, sick. And then I kept scrolling, and there's a new Talma movie. Yeah, I'm sorry, everyone, but there's a new Talma movie. It stars superstar Rajnikanth, and Rajni's a big deal. But I'm going to tell you what, no A-list. It doesn't work.
What?
And it's $20 a ticket. It's a
What?
Yeah. Superstar Rajni's a big deal.
Dang. They're like, no. We get money.
Yeah, and you know what? The thing that sucks about the no A-list thing is that they apply the extra fees and everything. It's not just the flat rate like it's supposed to
That's
be.
a bummer, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if my Movie Pass would work. Because my Movie Pass trick is still working, and I'm not going to tell you what my Movie Pass trick is, because those effing TikTokers out there that are giving away all the life hacks, which then means like the first million people that see that TikTok, which is like in 3 seconds, and they all go out to like whatever restaurant or whatever thing, and they do it and they exploit it, and no one can do it anymore. So I'm not telling you my Movie Pass trick. That's premium content. If you want to follow us on Twitch and subscribe, you know, and you follow us on that pre-show, because in the pre-show, for our Twitch viewers only, we get in there and we talk real talk. Not that this isn't real talk, but it's even realer talk, you know. And I'll tell you my Movie Pass trick, but yeah, maybe I'll loan you my Movie Pass. And
I already bought the ticket.
oh, okay, well, never mind.
That would, yeah. I mean, happens, I guess.
So anyway, well, I'm going to be talking about Last Voyage of Demeter, but before we get into that, we're going to tell you about some stuff that's happening this week. We're going to tell you what's coming out in theaters this weekend. Then we're going to tell you about Ghost971 gifted a sub. Thank you for being a cool homie to someone out there. But to Movie Albert, awesome. And yes, Velvet Santa on Twitch says, you mean we stop being nice and start getting real? Do they still make the real world?
Mad real.
I
That's the Chappelle Show version. Like, start getting
I'd watch
real.
that.
Mad real.
Yeah, so news. Let's jump into some news that happened, because most of everything that I read was just talking about like, man, Barbie and Oppenheimer just keep making money.
Yeah,
golly.
You're watching me actively try and find news, so I have something to talk about, because I found out about this like an hour and a half ago. So.
You know, everybody's talking about the Talk to Me. The sequel's already in the works. We mentioned that a little bit yesterday, but A24 is just super excited about how that movie, you know,
That's what you reviewed last week.
I did, and And I'll
shake the hand.
And this is something that I'm going to lean into when I talk about the Last Voyage of the Demeter. I feel like something is inherently wrong with audiences, and I feel like the internet has really just dissolved our brains into what we deem as good entertainment now. I feel like we've got this addiction to certain dopamine hits and just fast casual style of movies. We don't want to sit through something that's going to make us think. We don't want to sit through something that might be a little slower. We have to have these certain hits and certain things and certain check marks. And like Talk to Me was okay. Like, I don't understand why everybody's going, oh man, it's one of A24's greatest success stories as a horror movie. It was pretty paint by numbers.
I saw the picture of that hand since you had talked about it too. It looked dumb. I mean, it looked like one of those cast hands you can buy at like Hobby Lobby and someone wrote runes. It looks like
it's a cool prop.
Yeah, it looked like the kind of thing that...
Ali Sparkman on Twitch said that A24 is probably going to sell the hand, which they did the like... hot dog fingers gloves that you could get for Everything Everywhere All at Once, which was kind of a cool merch tie-in.
You know what they have at AMC right now is a Blue Beetle backpack you put popcorn into.
A popcorn backpack. I
and
like
it's
how
only
everything that they
$35
sell is like, can you put popcorn in it?
Yeah.
It's like the Adam Sandler characters, like you put your weed in here, man. Like
well,
AMC's
actually,
like, put your popcorn in here, man.
That started as a Rob Schneider character on SNL, and then Adam Sandler played that character in Rob Schneider's movie. What was it? The Hot Girl?
The Hot Girl, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that hand looked like the same thing that every, like, weird alt girl that I've dated has in their house.
Except for it's like this hand or whatever the chakra hand, except for it's pointed this way. Like somebody just went into Earthbound Trading Company at their local mall and was like, what if we just wrote like graffiti on this? And
some of them already have it, dude. I'm telling you, every like quirky girl I've dated has like that hand.
And as Ali Sparkman and Dinosaurus on Twitch said, they didn't hate it, had high hopes for it, was just okay. That's kind of how I felt. I had high hopes for it because A24, and I mean I left like not hating it, and I just didn't understand the hype. And as Al Topich said over here on Twitch, he said the movie industry is mathematical, plug props and characters in the equation, and that's what it's turned into. And that's what when I follow all of these new sort of like AI conversations and the strikes that are going on, Hollywood's already pretty formulaic and mathematical, just like he said, and I feel like it's only going to get worse as they can figure out like. It's becoming so commoditized to where their movie making is not necessarily about storytelling anymore. It's about how much money can we generate out of these franchises. And everybody's like, well, isn't that what it's always been about? And it's like, well, movies have always been about making money, but they haven't always been only about making money.
Well, that's like I was just reading the thing about Blue Beetle because all of those early reports have come in, and no one says anything good about it being like, oh, it's a killer story and it's something that's going to change superhero movies, or like, oh, it's a cool take on superheroes and stuff. Everyone's like, it's Latino. You're going to love it.
Well, and that was somebody in a meeting said, how can we take that Latino dollar with a superhero movie? We did it with Black Panther. Let's find another Demeter. No one was in there going, you know what? There's a really good story to be told in the Blue Beetle. Why don't we? They didn't. That's not how these meetings work now. They were just like, yo, let's get that money. And that's why some of the stuff that comes out is just feels so flat, is because it's the reason it's being made is not for the reason that the original character was made, which was out of passion and ingenuity and creativity. It was like, hey, man, we can take money from these people.
The reason DC made Jaime Reyes is the same reason they did the movie, because Ted Kord was just fine, but whatever. He's an okay character. Jaime Reyes does great in
Young Justice.
Injustice.
Was it?
Injustice, the video game.
Oh, yeah. I liked the character in Young Justice.
Yeah,
it was okay.
I don't like a lot of the Injustice characters because, like, the way they did Aqualad was dumb. Nightwing is cool. The progression of Nightwing's pretty neat. Starfire is pretty neat. Red Tornado was cool in the first season.
Yeah, Red Tornado was cool.
Didn't they have Mr. Tornado? No, they don't have him. No. He's at the mountain.
With Red Tornado?
Yeah, like in the second season or something.
Maybe so.
Beast Boy and Martian Girl are always cool.
Oh yeah, always cool. Beast, you can't go wrong with Beast Boy. Anyway, I don't even know what
talking
prompted that.
Warner Brothers and their money.
Yeah,
and the whole thing about Barbie and stuff. Barbie's now the second largest grossing Warner Brothers movie ever. The only one it has not beaten yet is Harry Potter Deathly Hallows Part 2. Harry Potter movies, fantastic. They're all amazing. Prisoner of Azkaban's the titties, and it's just barely above Barbie, and it dethroned took down a notch Aquaman, which was the second highest. Did you know that Aquaman was the second highest grossing Warner Brothers movie?
That's wild.
Yeah. So Barbie's gonna kick Harry Potter down.
Well, and I was reading an article that they were saying that Barbie managed to get a lot of people out of the theaters that hadn't been to the theaters since the pandemic. And I'm wondering if that's not just because of the internet memedom. Like,
absolutely.
It's not that people were like, you know what, this is the movie that gets me out of the theaters. They were like, this is the internet trend. This is the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge that gets me out of the. This is the inclusion that I need.
Without a meme prompting them, there's no way that all of these like 19-year-old dudes are gonna be like, "Yo, bro, Barbie doggy." Like, it's not gonna happen.
It's weird how the internet and meme culture is selling these movies. Al over on Twitch said in the comments that we need more people making less movies. It feels like these big Hollywood movies have nothing new or unique or interesting to say about society. And you're right. Like A24 with this Talk to Me is a really interesting thing because A24 started as this studio, and same with Blumhouse. Like Blumhouse was another one of these. It's like, let's like really foster these scrappy, interesting, young, creative directors and foster that like storytelling mindset. But Blumhouse and A24 are starting to like salivate at the like, we can make how much money at the box office? Holy shit! And forgetting like what these companies were based on, and it happened like rapid speed. And I'm not throwing A24 under the bus yet because I still love what they're doing. Same with Blumhouse, but you can feel the lean and the pull towards the box office dark side. I don't know. It's strange to watch. And speaking of money, Hulu and Disney Plus. Watching Netflix, because Netflix is always the one that does it first, and everyone gets mad at Netflix for it. When the dust settles, everybody does what Netflix just did. Going to be increasing prices and cracking down on password sharing, because after they crack down on it, and everybody's like, "Screw Netflix forever." Well, I kind of really wanted to watch the new season. All right, I'll subscribe.
I know, it's like I have Netflix and I have Hulu, and I don't know why. I don't hardly ever watch either one of them, and every time I'm like, I should just get rid of that. Then something else comes out like that Arnold Schwarzenegger spy series, or this new Gal Gadot spy movie. It's like things that would have been in the theater will show up there, and sometimes when we don't have anything talked about, I gotta watch a dumbass Netflix movie or whatever.
There's a new movie with can't believe I just space cadetted on his name, Jamie Foxx, that I wanted to watch as like a sci-fi, dystopian future sci-fi that I wanted to watch. But Netflix and Hulu, I really watched like what We Do in the Shadows, and a new season of Only Murders in the Building just came out.
That's why I keep Hulu too. Is like What We Do in the Shadows and stuff like that. Which another movie for Hulu, just to keep me signed up for it. Vacation Friends 2. They're making a sequel to that movie with Laurel and John Cena, where John Cena's like the crazy PTSD soldier or whatever, and he becomes friends with Laurel on his vacation in Hawaii and goes to his wedding, and it's insane nonsense happens. It was an okay movie. It wasn't bad. It's funny. They announced a sequel to that, I guess there's a trailer out for it I'll need to watch.
Related to the Hollywood strikes, which we were talking about a minute ago, another thing that I wanted to mention in the news, the Emmys moved from September to January.
Dang, that's a big move.
That's a big move. For anyone that gives a crap about awards shows, which we don't, it's one of the reasons we don't do ratings, although I bet if we did, we'd get more viewers because then we could link to like Rotten Tomatoes and stuff, which I also hate as a concept and a website. But yeah, I hate everything that keeps us from getting more viewers. You know, it's like, yeah, Metacritic, go suck a dick. Like Rotten Tomatoes, it's destroying everything in terms of how we watch movies. And then they're like, well, you could really get more viewers if you'd link to, you know, and they're like, Letterboxd. I'm like, I don't have time for that. And yeah, we should really start doing a Letterboxd account though, like a joint Letterboxd account. Do you know what that is? I'll show you, and we can do it. Hulu for Reservation Dogs. Yep, that's a good one. Night Ashley. Ali Sparkman said something about cloning. That was the Jamie Foxx movie. Going back through the comments, James was like, Sunday? What are you on Sunday? Yes, it's Sunday. We're not going to be here tomorrow, so that's why we're doing the broadcast today. So, did you have any Ali G? I noticed that Sacha Baron Cohen is bringing back Ali G in some sort of mystery project.
Really? I thought he retired all of those characters.
Well, he did bring Borat back in like 2020, you know, and I was like, whoa. But, you know, Ali G, I feel, is more relevant now as society is becoming more and more stupid. You know, Ali G was very ahead of his time. Like, I will watch the hell out of some Ali G.
No, the rest of the news I had is that TMNT's drop percentage was less than movies like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and
more sticking power.
Some big like what's the Disney Pixar movies and stuff.
Elemental.
And then right now, which I found out about 10 minutes before it happened, there's a 50th anniversary Enter the Dragon playing at the movie theater. You have a chance to catch it again on the 16th.
What? Okay.
Yeah, 50th anniversary Enter the Dragon. It's at our movie theater, local movie theater.
I did not realize that was out.
I don't know if they have a showing for us on the 16th, but I know that they're showing it right now as we speak. So,
man.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen
just the only thing
Chong Li get whooped on
that I absolutely hate about Bruce Lee movies, and he didn't invent it, but it comes from a time, and I wish that we would stop doing it, and we see it everywhere. It was in TMNT
movie.
No, this.
Oh,
like I hate this. Like this is can we just retire? And for those of you
Bruce
that
Lee's cool, man.
I know, but for those of you that listen on Spotify, like it's the person who's about to do some martial arts madness, like holds up their hand and does like the come here thing. Like, can we get rid of that? Like,
it's a taunt, bro. It's in every video game.
But I hate it, and it's a trope that I hate. It's like the superhero landing when they jump off of a building and land with the hand back here. Like, can we just stop with that? Like, let's come up with something different. And just let's stop with the hand. Like, I don't want to see that anymore. Like,
well, you can see the original version of it.
I know.
When he whoops up on Jackie Chan and Bolo Young and numerous other people. Yeah, Jackie Chan gets thumped with nunchucks when he gets into the basement.
Thwomp.
Yeah, and Bolo gets whooped on out in the yard because he starts up. Hey, you know, there's lots of crazy stories and mysteries around, like
Bolo Young.
No, murders that happened during the filming of Enter the Dragon, because like they had triad dudes as their guards on that island, and bodies would just wash up on shore and everything. It's crazy to read about. Also, Gal Gadot is like,
as a dirty liar.
Yeah, just all over everything in the news right now.
She told us that Wonder Woman 3 was happening.
She said that Wonder Woman 3 was going to continue on into the DCU from the DCEU.
But what she didn't say, it was only in her heart.
She was working with James Gunn and Safran to bring that into the DCU, and she would be taking over for what's her face that ran the first two, because that lady hates what Gunn and Safran are doing, and they don't get along. So Gal Gadot's like, I got a production company, I'll do it. And then James Gunn and Safran they were just like, Nah, that's a big no. Nope, no one's even talked to her. Don't believe that crap. We wrote into Flash that Aquaman's the only one that doesn't change across the universes, specifically because screw everyone else. So there's that, which means that we won't ever have blonde Arthur Curry, which is kind of a bummer. We won't have true Aquaman, hook hand, cool dude Aquaman,
hook hand Aquaman,
arm
is
of
pretty
water
cool.
Aquaman. That one's pretty cool. But she's all over the news about her Cleopatra thing because that's consistently a problem for everyone. She talked about, I guess some fan wanted her to be James Bond, and she's like, there's plenty of female lead roles in original stories out there, but thanks, I think that would be cool too, but nah. So she's already doing the spy thing.
Yeah, she's doing a lot of that.
So
did you read about this? Speaking of old movies in theaters, the Jurassic Park 30th anniversary is right around the corner, and it's coming to theaters, of course, but it's in 3D. And yeah, I know. But my only thing is, remember when Terminator 2 got re-released and it was in 3D?
Yeah, it was sick.
And
it was so
pretty
good.
Sick. I'm wondering if they will
was,
take their but that was James Cameron being James Cameron.
That's exactly what I was getting to say, is that James Cameron did that one, and this is Spielberg. And look at what Spielberg does with his movies, and look at what James Cameron does with his movies.
Yeah, I know. I'm worried because I want to see it. But only if, like, James Cameron was doing the 3D.
Yeah, is it going to be Nedry, like, opening up, like, the shaving cream? And be like,
3D.
Look at this. No one cares.
No one cares. Yeah. Oh, man. I don't know. We'll see.
Or, like, he's on the computer screen, and it's like, Is that what we're getting?
Like, what is it? Samuel Jackson's hand comes down.
And she just throws it at the screen. Yeah. She's like, oh, I'm so glad that you're here. Whoa. Whoosh. Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, the only thing I can
think
of...
Or the sneeze. It's just, instead of seeing the kids get sneezed on, you see like...
Yeah, they have cannons of snot in the theater. You're like, whoa, it's so real. The only thing I can think of besides that's like 3D worthy in that movie, I guess, is the T-Rex in the rearview mirror, but then it wouldn't make sense.
When he eats that dude on the toilet.
Because it's in the rearview mirror. Well... Yeah, but does that mean you're going to have the commode like right in front of you?
Yeah. That dude's like butt cheek.
Yeah,
and then
they'll have fart spray in the theaters. Yeah.
You know, I don't know if I was the only person that came up with this drinking game for Jurassic Park, but I had this drinking game that I would do with Jurassic Park where every time like Timmy or Tim or whatever his name is should have died. In that movie, you drink, and it's like, looks like we're going to need another Timmy. And you take a drink. And I feel like I shouldn't be the only person that has thought of that, because that kid should have died 1 trillion times in that movie.
That's true. Velvet Santa says Jeff Goldblum being naked come out the screen.
Oh, yeah. Ooh.
Or the Jell-O jiggle. It's like, ooh.
Or the doo-doo that they reach into is like in 3D doo-doo. I don't know. Anyway, it's coming in theaters, 3D. We'll see. Anyway, do you have any other news that you wanted to hit, or we want to talk about what's coming out in theaters?
That's it.
So there's some movies. There's some movies coming out in theaters this week. I'm only going to talk about 3 because there's, a lot of this is not going to hit theaters near you. But Back on the Strip, probably going to get in theaters near you. This is a new comedy from director Chris Spencer. It's got J.B. Smoove. It's got Wesley Snipes, Kevin Hart, Tiffany Haddish.
Pause between comedy.
It's Bill Bellamy in there. Bill Bellamy. You guys, anybody remember MTV?
I'm just still trying to figure out how
90s?
Tiffany Haddish keeps getting these movie roles after she got in trouble. Like, everyone just forgot. She has all these friends, like Kevin Hart or whoever probably, that are making sure that she stays in work. And I don't know how that happened. And I wish it wouldn't have, because she's not funny.
Maybe like you said, got a lot of friends in high places. So...
Yeah.
But Back on the Strip, it's about a young man moving to Las Vegas to pursue his dreams of being a magician, only ending up to joining Wesley Snipes' strip club routine group people. Magic Mike. It's literally Magic Mike.
But it's aged out Magic Mike, right? Because if I remember the trailer from however long ago it was actually being shown around.
But the main
It's like,
character, Spence Moore, is playing this character Merlin, which is a weird name for a magician. He's the young guy that's like coming into this troupe of old guys.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the whole thing was they had to get the band back together, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
they go to everyone and they're like, "Hey, we're whipping our ding dongs out again."
Well, and then like Faison Love is playing Desmond Dabadi Day.
He's like a real big,
huge fat guy.
And isn't JB Smoove or something like one of them
Yeah,
too? Or like
JB Smoove is one
it's
of
just
them.
a bunch of like dudes that are past prime or whatever.
So JB Smoove is Slim Sexy, Pastor Amos Slim Sexy Fowler, and Wesley Snipes is Luther Mr. Big. Faison is Desmond Dabadi. Bill Bellamy is Tyreek DeFace. And so they all have their different like stripper names. So there you go. Whipping out your ding dongs again. There it is. One more time for the homies. So that's coming out in theaters
whip out your ding
this
dong for the
week.
homies.
Also coming out is the new Will Ferrell, Jamie Foxx, Dennis Quaid, Animals.
Wait, Dennis Quaid's in that movie?
Yeah, it's got a bunch of people.
Who is he?
He is the voice of Dennis Quaid. He's just playing himself. Jamie Foxx is playing a dog. Will Ferrell's playing a dog. There's a handful of other people.
What if it's a dog named Dennis Quaid?
Oh, I hope so. That would be fantastic if it was just a dog that looks like Dennis Quaid named Dennis Quaid. But it's an R-rated movie about it's just like, what was the Sausage Fest, where it's like, look, this is like a cartoon. It looks like it could be for kids, but they're gonna talk about wieners and say the F word and do drugs, and that's gonna be so funny because it's not people, it's dogs. And this movie, you know, I don't know if my mom's listening to the podcast, but my mom really wants to see this movie. She thinks the trailer looks so funny.
This looks like a Jan movie.
And I'm just like, God, you're like, the dog's like, eat mushrooms and we're high. Whoa, that's so funny. We're going to talk about biting a dude's dick off. Whoa, what if a dog really said that? You know, I'm like, fuck this movie, man. Like, this looks painful to watch for me personally. This is I can't think of anything more brain-numbingly stupid than 2 hours in the theater watching. See, there's Dennis Quaid right there in the trailer. Than this movie. I don't know, guys. Like, maybe this is for you. I don't know. And if it is, that's fine. But
I bet it'll be okay.
it's just like The Hangover is already enough of a drug comedy to turn me off. But this is like animals doing people things, the drug comedy. Fuck. I don't want to see it. I'm sure it'll be some funny parts because farts and peeing and ding dongs and all that stuff are funny. But fuck.
Farts and peeing and ding dongs. One last ding
Pee
dong
farts.
job.
I don't know. I'm not looking forward to this movie. And they're like, yeah, it's rated R. Ha ha. Look out. We're going to say all the cuss words. Also coming out there's a limited release movie. It's called Landscape with Invisible Hand. It's a Sundance movie that got a lot of attention. I don't know if it's going to hit. It probably won't hit expanded release, probably very limited release. But it's about an occupying alien species. It came over and leaves Earth similar to what we're doing, but different. And then they watch us, and we're their entertainment. And there's like this teenage couple that they're broadcasting, they're streaming, right, and getting paid to stream, but it's aliens that are watching it, and they don't have emotions, and they don't really understand human love and mating. And go ahead.
So it's South Park.
Basically.
Because South Park did that episode where Earth is a TV show.
Yeah. And anyway, so it's a live action version of that. It looks kind of cute. Did very well at Sundance, so that one's coming out in limited release. But the other one, the big one, Blue Beetle, is coming out this weekend. So we'll finally get to stop seeing the trailers for it. We'll finally get to see if what's his name? Sholo like can stop making an ass of himself. And yeah, I mean it's time.
I like old old dude. What's his name? I had it. George Lopez.
Oh, George Lopez, of course. Yeah, he's pretty funny. And Harvey Guillen is really, really funny.
Oh, yeah.
He's really funny.
What We Do in the Shadows. Yeah, he's hilarious.
But I don't know. I'm going to go see it. I'll check it out. You know, Susan Sarandon is...
She's the bad guy.
She's the bad guy. She's in it. I've seen so many trailers of this now. I feel like I've seen it, but I'm going to go see it again. Second time.
Wasn't Susan Sarandon the bad guy in...
Everything.
In Chappie?
She's been maybe. She's been a bad guy in a lot of stuff. Like, because she just looks like she could be a bad guy.
She's a good guy in a lot of stuff, too. Oh, she's a bad guy in Holes.
Yeah, she was the bad guy in Holes. Put all them kids to work digging. She's so bad. Susan Sarandon, you're so bad. Anyway, those are the movies that are coming out this weekend. Definitely going to go check out Blue Beetle. Are you going to go watch Strays with my mom?
Oh, that sounds fun, actually. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I'll probably have to watch this dumbass Blue Beetle movie just so I can keep an eye out for any of the preceding Blue Beetles. There's
references. You catch all those references way better than I do.
Well, they're flying his ship in the trailer, so I'm hoping they find all the Cord tech and all that stuff, and maybe they'll meet Ted Cord, and it'll be better than how they did Ant-Man.
Yeah. Speaking of Ant-Man, Paul Rudd is in the guest star in this new season of Only Murders in the Building, and it's pretty funny because Paul Rudd's pretty funny.
I tried watching that first season of that show because I really like Steve Martin and Martin Short, but it was so boring to me.
Have you ever listened to a podcast? Like, if you've ever listened...
Yeah.
So,
they hadn't even got to that part. It was all the episodes leading up to that part. Like, I watched the first handful of episodes, like, up to the point, I think, where they met Sting. And then I completely lost interest.
I really enjoy it. It gets good. And, I listen to Serial, the podcast, and watching this reminds me of that. And just watching Martin Short and Steve Martin on screen, they're just so funny together. And I really, really enjoy it. So season 3 just dropped. I watched the first 2 episodes. I'm pretty into it.
Not actually saying it really picks up right after the point where I decided to give up.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like Star Trek: The Next Generation. Doesn't even get good till end of season 2. You know.
Yeah, I mean, Next Gen. There's a big shift at season 3 where it just becomes the best. Ever.
Yeah, I don't even watch the first 2 seasons anymore.
What?
Obviously.
Oh, they're so good. You get Q, and that's where you get to see Worf's personality, and
What have I done? I mentioned Star Trek.
Dude, I love Star Trek so much, and Next Gen is so cool, and
it's pretty good.
I don't know what you're talking about. Not watching seasons 1 and 2. Those are so good.
Well, so I got Paramount Plus free with like my Walmart Plus subscription that was discounted. I'm like, cool, I'll get this because Paramount Plus, and so I'm getting a twofer.
You're rewatching DS9?
What they don't tell you is it's Paramount Plus with fucking ads, and I can't do it. I'm just like, there's like 6 ads in one 20-minute episodes of what. And I'm just forget it and screw it, and I just don't. I can't do it.
Yeah, I don't remember what it's like to watch Star Trek with commercials.
Can't do it. Don't want to do it. Pulls me out of.
I haven't done that since it was on TNN.
TNN.
When I was at home sick, they used to just have TNN marathons. They'd have Next Gen and original series.
TNN. What does that stand for?
Turner News Network.
Turner News Network. Yeah.
And then it wasn't news anymore. It was just action shows and stuff, and they made it like a pure action network, and that's why it turned into Spike or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Because he sold it, and yeah.
Not Ashley on Twitch says she keeps trying to not pay to upgrade, but the ads are rough, and I'm determined. Well, the thing is like Walmart Plus sold me. They're like, oh, you get a free Paramount Plus subscription. And I'm like, okay, included in your subscription, kind of like Amazon Prime. It's like you get all the Prime videos. I'm like, okay, sign me up. That's dope. Let's do it. And then I get in there, and it's like all this ad stuff, and there's no option to upgrade. You're just like locked in to this crappy, like ad-supported Walmart edition of Paramount Plus.
Yeah, but you get to watch Star Trek. They took it off Netflix. Even if I wanted to watch Star Trek, I couldn't do it right now.
Well, I was gonna watch Below Decks to check that out because I wanted to see the crossover of Janeway.
Watch new Trek.
I just wanted to see the Janeway episode where
Janeway's in that cartoon Star Trek, the kids Trek.
I thought that was Below Decks.
No, Janeway's in the animated Nickelodeon Star Trek.
Oh shit! I thought they were the same thing.
No.
Oh damn.
No, she's in the CGI one.
Oh god, I don't want to watch that.
The Below Decks crossover happens with
the new show,
New Frontiers.
New Frontier, which is not animated.
Where Jack Quaid plays like one of the characters in it. And New Decks is just raunchy and weird to be raunchy and weird. They're like, what if Star Trek had people showing off their buttholes? And they're like, I like where you're going.
Well, I mean, it's Rick and Morty Star Trek is what it is.
I feel like
I watched one episode.
I feel like it's more of that that show with Tom Kenny and Daniel Tosh, the Brickleberry.
The episode that I watched was very Rick and Morty, where they like, oh, this is Planet Skleesklorp, and we milk them for their goo bees, and like, here it goes, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, this is exactly Rick and Morty.
Yeah, I know. It look maybe Rick and Morty and Brickleberry and everything with the Star Trek skin on it, but there's no chance you're getting me to watch New Trek. Forget that crap.
Well, I was gonna watch it, but ads. Anyway, I'll eventually get around to it. Anyway, okay, well, it's time. Let me talk about the title of this fucking show, which is The Last Voyage of the Demeter. I want to talk about this because
vampires.
Because vampires, yes. Because vampires, because Draculas. I love Draculas. I love vampires. I'm a spooky dude. And I'm reading a lot of reviews where people are going, it was kind of predictable. And I'm like...
Duh.
What?
He bit everyone.
Like, the plot was a little thin, a little bit predictable. You could have just seen it coming. And once they telegraphed the fact that everybody was probably going to die, I just lost interest in all of the characters.
It's in the fucking title. Last Voyage.
And I'm like,
right?
And they're like, it just seems like such a dusty old storyline. And I'm like, are you not familiar with the source materials? My God. And I'm reading all these reviews because I wanted to read reviews of this one, and they've only made me more enraged because there's like legit film critics that are like, and I read one film critic that was like, Last Voyage of the Demeter, based on several chapters from the novel Drac. And I'm like, it was based on part of one chapter, which was chapter 7. And if you are familiar with it, it's like maybe 16 paragraphs here. It's not a lot of source material, but it is source material encapsulated in more source material. And, it's sandwiched in between 2 different diary entries. And if you know anything about this, they're like, why would they even be carrying just loads of dirt? This doesn't even make sense. Literally from one review. And I'm like, motherfucker, do you know anything about Dracula? Do you know that they didn't have the internet on this, like, trade ship from fucking Russia to England or wherever? And it's like, yeah, if some noble was like, here's a bag of silver, asshole, put this box on it and don't ask questions, and be like, ahoy mighty, and load up the dirt, fuck it, whatever. That's what they did back then. And anyway, this movie ruled. I thought it was a lot of fun because it was a version of Dracula you didn't really get to see a lot on screen, because they were like, oh, I read another review and the guy's like, this is this creature running around like ripping off necks, makes it real hard to believe that he'd ever like be charming and seduce people as Dracula. And I'm like, that's the whole fucking point about Dracula is Dracula. It's what makes him scary, because he's like this monster. And they even said it in a really cool line in this movie. This lady who I didn't necessarily enjoy her character very much. She fit, and it wasn't too heavy-handed because they had to have some diversity, like throw in the fact that, like, the whole the black people are hated and persecuted against. They had to acknowledge that, and then they had to go.
But Dracula didn't persecute. Dracula just bit whoever.
Just bit, and then they had to have the lady character in there that was just like, he held me in a box and used me as meat. And then her literal parting words as she was dying, she was like, "This is on my terms. I'm choosing this." And I'm like, okay, but everyone's still dying. Can we just like Just revel in Dracula for a minute.
Was that a real thing? They said he threw me in a box and used me as meat.
Basically.
Oh, okay.
So it felt fresh, as Ali Sparkman said on Twitch, and Dina on Twitch says, I loved it, and like it said on Discord, it was a good Halloween rewatch value. It's something giving me nostalgia for 90s movies. And the thing is like, I appreciate that they tried to checkmark the woke boxes in this film without like going super heavy-handed. I felt that they did a really good job with adding these characters that seemed to make sense in this world. But going back to the guy that like couldn't believe that this monster was also Dracula, one of the lines was like, he is a monster that can masquerade as a man. That's fucking Dracula, guys. Like that is Dracula. He is a soulless creature of the night that can change forms and hypnotize you and rips your throat out and drinks your fucking blood. Like and he like, can be monstrous. And this one, he had no reason to be charming on this boat. He just needs to eat these dudes till he gets to England. He's like rationing these guys out on his trip. And it's cool and it's scary. And the cast was, in my opinion, pretty fantastic. They cast it well. I'm sorry to let you down, Jake. The dog dies.
Like right at the beginning.
Like all the animals die because it's the first ones to go. And as Dina says on Twitch, in the end, it was totally pure from What We Do in the Shadows. Yeah, no, it was. Like, it's funny how they referenced Nosferatu, which Nosferatu was a reference to Dracula, but, going full circle. But the director, he is great at this kind of stuff. He's known for Troll Hunter and Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Stephen King and Guillermo del Toro both praised this movie for his visual style, and no review that I read had anything bad to say about like the tone and the style. Someone was like, seemed really dark. I'm like, well, it's on a boat that's lit with, I don't know, lanterns, and it's nighttime most of the time, and sorry that it's dark, but that's the whole point of this, is Dracula's kind of lurking in the shadows. Anyway, whatever. I don't know what people want of these movies. The Last Voyage of the Demeter was exactly what I wanted out of this vampire movie, and I'm pretty happy about it. Unfortunately, it's not resonating well with the box office because it probably didn't have like woke teenagers on their cell phone like playing, penis sharing games like in Talk to Us or Talk to Me or whatever. And then and I don't know.
I thought you were talking about the kids in the theaters.
Just
because that's what they do anyhow. You know how many movies I sit at and people just fucking with their Snapchat throughout the whole movie?
There was a dude in front of me at Ninja Turtles the other day that was just on his phone the whole time.
That's why I like watching Indian movies, man.
But yeah, as Ali Sparkman said on Twitch, people next to me in the theater were complaining that it was too slow. And that's what I was saying at the beginning of the show, is there's something has happened in our brains, like with TikTok, started with Vine and all of these. It's why nobody watches this show. We're not like super big on the internet because our episodes are an hour long, and everybody's like, well, I just need 60 seconds, and then it has to end with someone going, like every fucking video on the internet has to
clip that and make it 60 seconds.
Yes. It has to be like instant zany, like setup, punchline, super rapid fire. And with these horror movies, there has to be like a crazy wild kill every 15 minutes. That was Talk to Me. There was a crazy demon kill or a crazy weird demon possession, like clockwork every 6 or 8 minutes in the movie, and there was no build up. This movie is kind of all build up, but no build up at the same time because we already know what happens. We know, if you're familiar with Dracula, that Dracula goes in the box goes on the boat, everybody dies, box makes it to England, story continues.
Who takes the box off the boat?
Dude, Dracula's people. Like if you read in the book, they're like, oh, that's like I think there was Russian diplomats that were there, because they got paid off, and they're like, oh, we're gonna get this dirt, we're gonna get it where it needs to go because we don't want this anymore. Get it the fuck out of here. So yeah, I thought it was paced as well as a story about Dracula rationing people off.
Yeah, horror
Should have
movies are
been.
supposed to kind of have slow pace. That way, when it hits a fast pace, that's part of like the jarring aspect of the horror.
Yeah, and yes, you knew everybody was going to die, and yes, there weren't many people to get killed, but they paced them out, and you didn't want to miss any of these people going down. And I thought they filled in the gaps pretty well. It's like a crew that's scared. I mean, it's a little bit aliens, a little bit the Thing. They know that it's there, but they can't really do. Somebody was like, well, they didn't really put up that good of a fight. And I'm like, it's not like they brought AK-47s on an 1800s like merchant ship.
Well, yeah, it's a boat. Like, they don't have backup or anything.
Yeah, they can't radio in for
Why
help.
don't they just get a complicated series of mirrors to put sunlight below decks too, so they
Well, they didn't even know what it was,
Yeah.
And so this crew was more familiar with what Dracula is and was because of that girl that was on the ship than the people in the novel. The captain's log was like, I don't know, they're spooked, dude. They think they saw a man, like a skinny, weird, pale guy, like on the ship, and then he like disappeared. But it's probably just the rain. We were running through a storm, And then by the end, he's like, "There's something bad on this ship," and he straps himself to the ship's wheel with the note, and that's like the final entry. I hope somebody gets this note in my bottle, and they kind of reference that in the movie too. The captain's like on the ship's wheel, and it's got his little his crucifix and stuff.
I just like to picture Dracula standing in the rain on the ship, and someone's like, "Hey, who's that?" And he goes, "Hey," and then like the wind and the rain, and then they're like, "Where'd he go?" And they're like, "Oh no, skinny, pale, looking weird guy. We should say something."
Yep. And the one interesting thing about this movie is that it totally does set up, like, I was weirdly thinking that the main character of this, who is the I don't want to give any spoilers away, but it was played by Corey Hawkins. It was character Clemens. Like, they didn't give him a last name, and if if Clemens is his last name, but if it was Clemens Van Helsing, that would have been like a stupidly hilarious twitch at the end. But I can't give any spoiler alerts away in this movie, except for the obvious one that it's the Last Voyage Demeter, and almost everybody dies. Almost everybody dies. There you go. That's as much of a spoiler I'm going to give away. But David Dasmalachin, or whatever his last name is, I don't always know how to pronounce that. He was fantastic. Liam Cunningham playing another ship's captain. He could not be more perfect for this role. Just some really, really fun characters that I thought were fun, and I enjoyed it. I mean, it's a good vampire movie. Anyway. Dina says, I was seriously waiting for them to reveal him as Van Helsing because they were almost there. Yes, they were. Because he's like, I'm going to hunt the Spawn down now that I know who he is and what it is. And I'm like, oh, God, is this like Black Van Helsing? And I kind of would have been okay with it, but except for the Van Helsing line is kind of like the Belmonts. This is like a long line of people that have studied.
Did he just load up like a bandolier of spikes, like stakes on his
Not
chest,
quite.
and get like a crossbow? And
But the problem why he couldn't have been Van Helsing, chiming into Dina,
is because Hugh Jackman already is.
It's because Van Helsing already exists in that novel, and finds like that's the end of the book when he finally gets to England, and Mina is like entranced by Dracula, and then they're like Dr. Van Helsing comes in, is like, oh shit, I've seen this before. Check her neck, it's got the bite holes, and so he can't be Van Helsing because then they're changing the source material too much. Anyway, let's see. Allie Sparkman on Twitch says she calls him David Dalmatian. Yeah, that works. I'll call him David Dalmatian, but he didn't have no spots. Anyway, it's in theaters right now. I highly suggest you see it. It's fun. It's spooky. I think this movie would have maybe benefited a little bit more coming out in October, because I think horror, like slasher jump scare horror movies, are going to work no matter where you put them. But a movie like this that is spooky, featuring one of the most Halloween iconic characters in the history of literature, probably should have came out in October. But that's just me. So anyway, Last Voyage of the Demeter. It's in theaters. Go see it. It's cool. It's fun. to me it's a refreshing take on a horror genre, because I'm so sick of the Insidious universe kind of crap and the stuff that like Talk to Me is, but that's what makes the money. So anyway, all right, guys. Last bit of the show, box office roundup. Jake's going to give you the top 10 movies in the United States. Domestic totals are what we focus on the most, because if you've listened to the show, that's what people look at when they greenlight these sequels. So, yeah. Number 10, take it away.
Yeah, and keep in mind, they probably still haven't calculated yesterday, and this does not take into account anything that is happening yet today.
That's why we like doing the show on Mondays, because we get a more firm report.
But currently for the weekend, the past week and this weekend, sitting at number 10, Indiana Jones, still in the top 10 somehow, 7 weeks out. $8.99 is its estimated intake, bringing it to $172 million in the U.S. Holding at number 9, Mission Impossible. This one's sad. 5 weeks out, number 9. It brought in 4.6. Its domestic take is 160. It has brought in over $500,000 across the world, which is good for it. I definitely think it's a victim of Barbenheimer hype. So with the next one, I think we'll see a lot better numbers from it. And then coming in at number 8, Sound of Freedom, still up there in its 6th week out. 4.8 million brought in by it, 172.8. Sound of Freedom has outgrossed Indiana Jones and Mission Impossible. Think about that.
Oh my God.
In the same amount of time. A movie that no one really...
Oh my God. And no one's like... it's the whole... I wonder how many of those like ghost ticket purchasing things are happening.
Yeah,
with this
for sure.
movie.
Because I've not had one person be like, dude, Sound of Freedom. Sick. Definitely watched it. And then number 7, Talk to Me, 3 weeks out, brought in $5 million so far. 31.3 is its total take here in the U.S. And that one was made by Australian filmmakers. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then number 6, Haunted Mansion, 3 weeks out, 5.6 million. Its domestic take is just under 53 million total.
And I reviewed this one as well, and I thought it was fun. I thought it was a cute, fun, spooky, like, what's with these two October movies coming out in August?
Yeah.
What the hell?
75 million worldwide for that one. Disney's probably not super jazzed. This is the second time they've done this movie, and the second time it's fell on its face. It's just not...
This was a better version than the last time.
Sure, but it's just not a property that people are excited about. No one's like, yo, I gotta go see Haunted Mansion. And the trailers definitely don't do any favors.
No.
Because it looks... honestly, it looks terrifying at parts. And it's like from Disney. And then it has like people almost getting stabbed in the face with knives thrown at them by ghosts that just show up out of nowhere. No one's going to be like, oh, I want to take my kid to see someone have their head impaled with a machete from ghost space. No. Like,
it was cute though. You could take your kids.
Okay. But no one's
gonna.
Yeah, no one's gonna. And then opening at number 5 so far, Last Voyage of Demeter, 6.5 million estimated intake for
bad
it.
opening so far, because rumor has it has a $45 million budget.
That's not bad.
No, it's not bad for a period piece. But as Dina, just our resident box office expert, she said Demeter had a decent per theater average. One thing she noticed around here, she's in the DC market, is how hard it was to find a screen for it, because some of the theaters only have a handful of screens, and they're obviously showing Barbenheimer, TMNT, and it's probably having a difficult time finding screens. I mean, it says it's only in 2,700 screens nationwide, and Barbie's in over 4,000.
Yeah. And then number 4 in its second week out, Meg 2, 12.7. We talked about that one last week. Mm-hmm. 54 million is its estimated total at the moment, which that one too, I'm kind of bummed out. I thought it was fun, despite I think you didn't like it so much, but I thought it was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah, I like movies like that. It's a monster movie, but it's not like a terrifying monster movie, right? It's something fun, like Jurassic Park or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
And we need more things like that from time to time. I do want a sequel for that one. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Meg 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
They left it open for it.
Mm-hmm.
And then number 3, Ninja Turtles, second week out.
You need to go see this movie, dude.
Don't want to.
I saw it a second time, and it confirms you need to see this movie.
I'll watch it at home.
It's fun. I watched it a second time. I enjoyed it probably even more than the first time. I
just don't see myself liking it.
did you like Ninja Turtles?
Yeah, of course.
Well, then you'll like this movie. This is a movie.
I
for
hate when they
fans.
change my comic books. No, it's not. I hate when they change comic books.
Well, I didn't get super into the comic books. I was the animated show.
Yeah,
that was
and
me.
that's as far away from Eastman and Laird's Turtles as I'm willing to get.
Okay, well, I thought it was fun.
I'll watch it when
They
it's
had
on.
some cool Eastman and Laird Easter eggs. I caught a lot more of the Easter eggs in this one than I did the first time I watched it. But yeah, it was Eastman High School, and then where one of them lived was the Laird Building and like other stuff like that. And I enjoyed it.
Well, we'll see. I'll think about it. I'm not going to pay theater prices for it though.
AMC A-list, dog.
Yeah, I'm
You
not.
get 3 a week.
I'm not going to take.
I'm not gonna go watch it for free.
I'm not going
God.
to take 3 hours of my life to go do it on a day when I could do something else. I got Warhammer minis I'm trying to paint so I can play some 10th edition. 15.75 million for it so far. Its domestic take is sitting just shy of 73 at the moment. It'll probably have some more by the time numbers are looked at tomorrow. And then holding at number 2 in its 4th week, actually climbing back up to number 2 from 3rd spot. Oppenheimer bringing in 18.8 million so far, $264,000 in the U.S. It's not doing so bad for itself, and in fact, they said that there's a couple of markets where it's doing better than Barbie. And then holding at number 1 for the 4th week in a row, Barbie so far has brought in $33.7 million. In the U.S., it's brought in $526 million more as the evening goes on, and it's just not stopping anytime soon.
It will not stop.
Blue Beetle's definitely not
Gonna rock the Barbie boat.
Yeah.
It's the Pink Beetle is here to stay for a while. One thing that I did want to mention though, that it just went live 2 days ago, which we talked about it a while back. The Spider-Man Lotus fan film, produced by some people that live around here, starring one of the guys that works at Cheers nearby. I did not realize it's an hour and 38 minutes or something long.
A full-length
It's a
movie.
full-length movie. It is online right now for free. You can watch the whole thing on YouTube.
Spider-Man.
It's Peter Parker, Spider-Man. I just dropped the link in our Twitch comments there. You can check it out there if you want to check that out. And yeah, I mean, I'm probably gonna watch this tonight, and it's already gotten a ton of views, 1.9 million views in 2 days.
That's cool.
Looks pretty good. I'm gonna check it out. But you can for a fan film, some of the effects look really, really great. I mean, you could tell
CGI.
there's some CGI parts, but I mean, some of this looks pretty good for a fan film. You know what I'm saying? Not bad. Looks better than some of the stuff on the CW, if we're being honest. So I'm going to check this out. It's called Spider-Man Lotus. Link is right there in the description. Cool stuff. So
Also, I really hate that Velvet Santa said that I could play Eddie Brock, because in the comic books, Eddie Brock is all scarred up and ugly. So, thanks, Big Preach. He's a big, dumb meathead with a blonde buzz cut, covered in scars. Thanks,
man.
Big Preach on that one.
Well, all right, guys.
Said that you could be J. Jonah Jameson.
That's even worse.
At least he's not all scarred and ugly and everything. He just has a werewolf son.
Oh, yeah, I guess he does. I forgot about that. Well, all right, guys. Well, we're going to get out of here. As Dina said on Twitch, she put the link to that film on our Discord, in our Movie Links channel. You can join our Discord. It's the Drive-In Speaker Box. There's links in here on our channels, blah, blah, blah. You can find it out. You can chat with everybody throughout the week. Don't forget to like and subscribe wherever it is you prefer. Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch are our streaming channel partners. And if you don't want to view all this and read these comments and participate, you can always just download the audio version of this podcast wherever it is you download podcasts, or just ask your smart speaker to play the Drive-In Speaker Box podcast. Okay, all right. Well, I guess that's it for us. We will be back next week, probably with some Blue Beetle stuff and maybe some other movies. Oh, we're going to see Jailer. Maybe we should do a whole just a standalone episode and maybe like a movie review like all these other people do, and you just get known on the internet for being the white guy that reviews like Tama movies and stuff.
This one is a Tama movie, yeah.
So
dude, I get amped on Superstar Rajni movies. He's the dude that does he did Interon and 2.0, you know. That's the one that our people know.
Well, we will come back with those news. Maybe we'll do a one-off. I don't know. I want to do more one-offs. We keep saying it. We still don't do it. I don't know. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. We will see you guys next week. As always, I am the boom operator.
I'm the grip.
Take care.
As you leave the theater, folks, please be careful. Don't let this happen to your car. Be sure to remove the speaker before you leave. If you should accidentally pull a speaker loose, please turn it in at our snack bar or box office. Thank you.